All right, we in there.
Yep, and I already pressed record because I don't want no problems, want no issues.
No, that is fair. That is fair. That is fair.
I mean, where y'all been? Y'all done had another baby or something?
Not at all. Not like that's over. That's done. Like, that's super done. I can't do it. I can't do it anymore.
Isn't it hard?
Hey, listen,
it's like the best and the worst and the hardest.
Like I definitely, took the being out of the baby phase for granted.
Yes.
When you're back square in it, it's just like, that's what babies do. That's what babies do.
That's what it is. That's why we can't sleep. That's why I told my kids, I said, listen, don't be having any like kids that you looking for me to help you take care of because your mom is just not good.
He's like, I'm out of that permanently.
Yes. I mean, I love kids, but I don't know.
Yeah, we're out of that permanently. By the way, are you able to hear? Because like my heater is going crazy in the background. Can you actually hear that, or is it?
A little bit, but not. I mean, it's not a big deal.
Okay, all right. Just making sure. Just making sure it's not overpowering.
No. No. No, I don't see why it's not saying. Now it's not letting me go live. Oh, describe what makes your videos. Okay, we're live. What you tell me if you see it?
I see it. I see it. I
you
see it.
There
it is. I see it. Facebook, what's up?
Wait, I mean, I'm telling you though, LC, our 3 fans. Our 3 fans. Really, like we're like, where y'all been? What's going on?
Yeah, I know. It's. Hey, listen.
So we got to come back for the people.
Yeah, no, especially like I text you, I was like, all right, this is too much going on. Like this,
yeah, you know what? I think we needed a break after having to deal with Trump world, and I think we needed a little bit to recover and just get to normalcy.
Funny thing is, though, is we're kind of not out of Trump world.
We're not.
If you look at, I forgot, it was a couple weeks ago. CPAC happened, and he was there talking up a storm. Somebody made a golden image of him, which
I heard someone made a golden statue.
Yeah, no, there was a real golden statue of Trump that they brought to CPAC.
Does that now sound sick to anybody?
No, my wife is really just like, oh, so we just doing biblical shit now, like that. So he's like, so he's God now for y'all, and the fact that.
But I think he is God for them. I think that those who are afraid of losing power, losing that white supremacy, they see him as the God that's going to save them and get it right and make all those minorities go.
You saw how quickly Lindsey Graham did an about face. Right after the riot, he was like, I'm out, we can't do this anymore, yada, yada, yada. Then literally right around the time CPAC happened, he was like, we just got to deal with the, everyone who doesn't understand that this is his party is missing the boat. So I'm just saying, so even though he is no longer in office, people like Lindsey Graham are still proclaiming that this is his party. So it's like, if that's the case, the schism is going to continue because like they're riding that train regardless of what's happening. And the fact that, the impeachment went nowhere, which I expected it to be, because you need actual participation, and they weren't going to do that. Means his dumb ass is probably going to run again in 4 years. And, so we might,
You know what? He may not run again because I think he may have more power not running because they're making him more like a deity. I'm with your wife. Like he's more like a god. He could wield a powerful sword, not being the president of the United States.
He absolutely could. I just think his ego won't let him be satisfied with losing something. Because listen,
what country y'all going to if he wins? Yeah, y'all thought about it yet? Where y'all?
No, hey, listen. So it's mapped out. So my wife's family's from Nevis. She's got citizenship. I could latch on to that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you never told me these things.
My family's in Barbados. I can go over there. Like I can get citizenship still to this day through my mother. we can go over there. So we got options.
Okay, so what about cousin Randy?
Hey, listen, you come to Barbados. Come to Barbados.
I'm
You
out.
come to. I know you got the connects in Ghana and what
I
have you,
got
so
some
we can go over there
connections
too. Because I'm still trying to take that trip. So like, listen, it could be the permanent trip if needs be. We can just go there and just stay there. I'm fine.
One-way tickets will be bought, and I'm not saying
One-way
that
ticket.
jokingly. If Trump honestly were to run again, I probably be
because what are we doing? Because at this point, if they allow this to happen, what are we doing?
well, first of all, they're gonna try to enslave us again. We better run like Kuta.
Before the foot happens, before the foot gets chopped off. Right.
So let's talk about all this bullshit that's been happening without Trump. Okay, we got to talk about my pet peeve. I haven't wanted to fight in a long time because I'm too old to be out there wilding, but I really want to fight Sharon Osbourne. Like I really want to fight her. Like when I saw her disrespect Cheryl Underwood the way she did, and I so related to Cheryl because I've been that person where you're trying to hold it together because we Black people know we're gonna be called the angry Black person if we come back the way she was coming at Cheryl. So Cheryl's trying to, first of all, even to talk about race. When you think about Meghan Markle, you think about Cheryl Underwood, we first have to preface it and be like, well, and we have to be so nice because we know that we're going to get judged and be called angry and too sensitive. And then even though Cheryl gave her like the softest ass, you're my best friend opening, Homegirl just completely disrespected her anyway.
Few things about that. Because one, I think I saw on your page, I think you posted the Amanda Seals.
Oh yeah, she went off. She said everything I wanted to say.
Because Kevin Frazier did that, whatever you want to call it, with Sharon Osbourne. So it's a lot of things at once. We could start with the Meghan and Harry thing in a sense that because
we got to do that separate.
Because it's like Sharon's basically like jumping off the ledge, even when she was defending Piers Morgan, because they're just making it a point to just like, I don't believe what these people are saying. And it's kind of like, none of you are their family. So why do you have such a conviction about whether they're telling the truth or not, or what have you, to the point that you're just going to go on. Excuse me?
Piers went out with Meghan Markle that one time. He's mad. He was jilted.
Yeah, and that's hold on. I'm glad you said that, because this is something like, yo, fellas, to all my fellas out there, we need to define what talking to a girl is. If you had like 2-3 beers with somebody, you didn't used to talk to her. That's not what happened. Okay, like you had 2-3 beers and then she went along her merry way. Matter of fact, not only did you, after you had her 2-3 beers, she actually went to her real destination after that, which is where she met her husband. Bro, that wasn't a date. That wasn't a get together. You weren't hollering. You weren't talking. You just happened to be in some place and shared 2 beers with somebody, and now you've been on a fucking crusade ever since. You're crazy.
He is hurt. He is hurt. I mean, his ego is hurt.
Yo, but the thing about it is, it's like every guy who tries to holler at anybody, it's a numbers game, man. Sometimes you take that L. Like you're not gonna hit every ball out the park. Sometimes you take the L. You just gotta dust yourself off and keep going, man. Like, bro, it's not that serious to the fact that you literally have to strategically shit on this woman every single chance you get. And then when he's on his show, he gets spicy with the Black one on his show. But then the minute the Black guy says something to him, he can't take it. He gotta get up and walk off the set.
He storms off.
And quit his own show. You quit your own show because you can't listen. Even if I'm dead wrong, you ain't gonna get me to quit my own show.
I'm not getting my own show, right? And it just showed how soft he was. Because the guy didn't go off on him. He just said, like, you've been going at it hard, and I'm kind of getting tired of it. And
he's like, it's enough, it's enough.
Like, he stormed out. I was like, what a bitch.
Yeah, no, that's exactly like you can't handle somebody calling you out on something that's visible, and like you call it. That's the quintessential bitch behavior. That's just what that is. That's what that is.
He did. He came up with the right term, bitch assness. But so when they asked about Sharon defending him, I told people, I said, she can't deny Pierce is a racist, right? And just so you know, a person can be a racist and still want to screw a black person. It happens all the time. Like, have you ever heard of a thing called slavery? I tell people, because like, oh, I can't be racist. My boyfriend was black. Okay, like, yeah, you can. But anyway, I said she got to go like some people go with R. Kelly. Like, yeah, I know he's a pedophile, but I still listen to his music. Like, you got to ride it hard. You cannot say you don't know that he's a racist. I mean, he's like, that's a known thing. So if you're going to stick by this guy's cause publicly, by him publicly, you just got to just say, yeah, but I know he's a racist, but that's still my dog. Like, you just have to do that. You can't say you don't see where he's racist. You can't. He's too obviously a racist.
Like,
I'm telling you, it's like R. Kelly. You got to be like, look, yes, he's a pedophile, but I love that mother. I love his music. I still play his music. You just have to like own your shit, in my opinion.
No, nobody does. Nobody does that, because like we live in a time where everyone likes to have plausible deniability, even for things that aren't deniable. Like, for example, I'll give you a prime example of that too, which all loops around the one of the guys who ran up in the Capitol building, the one that had the horns on his head.
Oh, yeah, he was just taking a walk. He was just walking.
His mother did an interview as well.
I saw it.
And his mother was just like, well, but he didn't really do anything wrong. And it's just like, no, like there's like technically what he did was like super illegal. Like, what do you mean? But he's like, but he was escorted in there, and like, what did he do really? And it's just like, yo,
the doors were.
We literally have like, there's more pictures of him in the building than of anybody else, when we know it's illegal to be in there, but then yet still she can sit there and be like, well, what did he do really? And it's like, no, he did what he's on the camera doing. And that's enough. We don't need anything else but that. He's on the camera doing the illegal shit. There you go. Like, hold that.
Do you think you love like that? Like, I tell my kids, like, I think I would say, yeah, oh yeah, that's my son. Oh yeah, he was messed up. Oh yeah, that was illegal.
No, it's
I would claim it.
My wife and I talk about that enough, where it's just like, all right, yeah, I could love like my kid to death, but you fucked up. Like, right. I don't know what else to tell you. Like, I mean, it might not be something where, like, I don't know. It depends on what happened. I might not volunteer the information just all willy-nilly, but I might not lie for your ass either. Like,
well, I'm saying once he's caught and it was on TV and they showing like Zach on TV 500 times and they interviewed me, I would say, I would, try to get him a good lawyer and everything. Of course, I don't want my child to do hard time, but I would claim it and be like, yeah, he jacked up. I don't know what's wrong with him.
He's like, yeah,
what happened? I didn't raise him like that.
He's like, he fucked up. Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
I would just say
that. You're more likely to get that with a black mother anyway. Like, I forgot what the situation was when this kid was on the scene. This black mother came up and started smacking him immediately. I forgot what that was. But you know what I'm talking about? Where, like, I forgot what he did. I forgot what the kid did.
Yeah, I do remember that.
I forgot what the kid did.
It was a fence right by the thing.
Just instant slaps on the scene. Just so get on the scene, instant slaps. And it's just like, yeah, that's exactly how you handle it. Just like, don't worry, I got it.
About, like, when you get in trouble at school and the principals will be trying to do stuff, and the worst thing they could do is call your mother. Like, do it. Listen, what you need to suspend me? What you need me to in school suspension? What? Just don't call my mother.
No, my high school dean. My high school dean definitely had that. He, like, at one point in time, I was bugging. So he literally had my mother on speed dial. And just like, anytime he just like, listen, do I need to press 3? I was like, yo, man, chill. I got you. It's all right. You don't need to press 3. I understand.
I got, don't worry about
it. I don't need, because think about it, especially with like my mother, she's a nag on top of that. So it's just like, it's not going to be one stern talking to. It's going to be a prolonged series of talking tos. So by talking to number 7, I'm like, I got it. I won't do it no more. I
It's nothing
promise.
wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, but we got to take this back real quick to Sharon Osbourne because I want to fight her. And I was kind of want to fight her. Am I getting in trouble? People gonna say that's a joke, people. But I don't like her at all. And the reason why I don't like her is that I felt that she was so disrespectful, and it was interesting to me that she showed what a white supremacist she was on stage because she was directing um, Cheryl and being like, no, you don't get to cry. I cry. And you tell me what he's done that's racist. But it was in a very, I just a disrespectful way. Like you owe me, like you work for me, like you're less than I am. Um, and then, and then how Cheryl just kept it together that whole time. But then let me tell you what makes me mad. They're investigating this whole thing, right? Why does everybody lose their jobs? Because the white woman's accused of doing something wrong. Why does the whole show have to shut down? Why can't she just not come on the show until they figure shit out? But everybody can't work. Everybody can't get paid because this one white woman, oh my God, we have to do this investigation.
Man, sounds like network television. Sounds.
Really, you know they wouldn't do that for us.
Well, no, because then you'll just be Nick Cannon and they'll get rid of you.
Yeah, they just canceled the whole show. But yeah, Nick Cannon, they get rid of all of him. But that has blown my mind. And then how she came out and was like, she has become the victim. And so what I just actually posted on Facebook, I said, you heard about that referee who talked about called the kneeling team a bunch of niggers, I believe. He blamed it talking about his sugar.
Oh, diabetes. You talking about the diabetes?
Yes, the diabetes. It was his diabetes. Now we know half of our people got the sugar, and we don't just start calling people out their names.
Listen, that's when I say that's next level, is because listen, most of the time when people want to blame something of when they did something wrong, it's I was drunk or something like that, where you'll try and play it off as like the alcohol did it. I've never heard of the sugars.
The sugar
making you racist. I've never heard of the sugars making you racist. Like, yo, my insulin level is messed up. Nigga. No, like, how does that work?
And can I tell you something? Can I tell you the production team, because his mic was supposed to be off. So the production team that hadn't shut his mic off has been let go. He hasn't been punished.
Oh yeah, because you made our star look bad. So you guys need to get reprimanded on behalf of his sugars induced bigotry.
Racist. So yeah, he has not been fired, but the people who made it public that he is a racist got fired.
Once again, networks and cameramen. There you go.
Just the way that white America will never admit that they're racist. I mean, when I saw that man went and murdered 8 people, and the police officer, this is like the same day, is coming up and saying,
okay,
he had a bad day.
All right, so if you want to fight Sharon Osbourne, I want to fight the police chief.
No, but hold on, tell people we really don't, because we 2 black people, we'll get in trouble. They'll think we're serious. We ain't trying to fight nobody, y'all. Don't come arrest us.
Well, to be fair, there was one time that I almost fought a cop, but I didn't realize he was a cop. And then the millisecond I realized he was a cop, I stopped all because I was like, you know what, man?
You can't win that.
No. But it's like I've never. No. Correction. I don't know why I was about to start a sentence fraudulently. I was about to use the word never, which is bullshit. I know exactly what I'm saying. It is amazing how they will always find ways to humanize murderers.
If they're white.
Yo, listen.
We're animals. Monsters.
I've had plenty of bad days.
How many people did you kill, LC?
I mean, listen, unless we're talking about like Street Fighter or Tekken, I haven't killed nobody. I've had plenty of bad days. I never thought to myself, hey, I'm gonna pick out a particular, racial group and just, go to where they are and start shooting them because I'm having a bad day. I'm going to pick out a particular group of people, go to their establishment, which was nowhere fucking near me, and then go kill them. And then on top of that, they said that he was actually planning on going to Florida after that. That's a hell of a bad day, bro. So you mean at no point in time during the course of your bad day did you think to yourself, you know what? I don't need to do that. That has nothing to do with a bad day. That has nothing to do with a sexual addiction. That has nothing to do with any of that. You guys wanted to target some Asian people and you found some. And then that same police chief, when they found his Facebook and he was selling like COVID-19 t-shirts made in China, the same guy who's talking about homeboy had a bad day. It's just like, it's all wrapped up in the same
and how they protect each other. And they're saying it's not a hate crime, it's not related to racism. I'm like, okay, so he went to I mean, wait, what? I mean, I don't even
but to be fair, in the aftermath, I remember this distinctly, in the aftermath of Dylan Roof, they tried to say that Dylan Roof wasn't racist when he himself admitted, I went in there to shoot black people.
Right.
But out of his own mouth, he said, I was trying to shoot black people. And they still were like, nah, I don't, we need to figure out what his motives were. He told you.
He told you what his, like,
he told you what his motives were.
Right.
He said, I went into the church, I prayed with them for about 3 hours and then just shot everybody.
Right.
Like he told you. But even when it's that, and even when it's because you were talking about when you mentioned earlier about people just ignoring the obvious, it's like people can literally tell you what it is and they'll still find ways to bounce around it.
Well, particularly when it comes to white America and race. It's something I struggle with, is because under no circumstances will they ever say, I got some work to do. Like I messed up. Oh yeah, that was racist as hell. I need to work on that. And not only will they do it for themselves personally, for other people, white people will say, well, no, she's not like that, or he's not like that. I'm like, they're like, what did they do? I was like, well, she called me a nigger 4 times. No, but she's not racist. It's like, how do we fix the shit? Like, how do we work on this person's racism if nobody will own it? Like, no matter, it could be on videotape, it could be.
Listen, I literally just spoke about this with my wife not too long ago in the wake of the George Floyd settlement. And I literally said that they're so willing to avoid reprimanding people for the crimes they commit that they'll give up $27 million of the city's money.
Yep.
Instead of just convicting one cop.
Yep.
That's insane. You would rather give close to $30 million. You would rather pay 8 figures than, and they settled with Breonna Taylor's family. It's like, you'd rather pay millions of dollars than just reprimand one cop for doing the wrong thing.
That's how married they are to racism.
That's how married they are to this institution, that we'd rather give up money.
Lots of money.
That could be a ton of money. And yes, it is taxpayer money and what have you, but that still goes to things within the city. Right. So you're depriving your own city of resources on behalf of a cop that you just can't convict of something. It's like, it's mind-boggling to me how dedicated people are to keeping the establishment where it is.
And never owning responsibilities for it. Because you think about when we, going back to the shooter, the murderer in Atlanta, they think they would rather call him a sexual deviant than racist. Like, you could be anything, but we are not going to own that he's racist.
Yo, this is going to sound crazy. Do you know what the racist sexual deviants really do? They just leave nutty comments on porn videos. That's what they do. They don't go to the massage parlor and just shoot up a bunch of Asian people. That's not what they do. They just leave weird comments. I'm just like, bro, you're masturbating and racist at the same time. That's crazy. That's crazy. Like, they don't go to the massage parlor just to go shoot Asian people. That's crazy. That has nothing to do, like, the percentages of the increase in attacks on Asians speak for themselves.
But listen, you remember I went off when this came out and that fool kept saying China virus. I said it's gonna be hell
This
because
is
words are
the
powerful. And I said it's gonna be hell. And I've been getting some shit this week because I've been saying, I stand with the Asian community. And of course, the Asian community and the Black community have a very fractured relationship, like super fractured, right? For a reason.
correct.
Because, admittedly, we don't get treated oftentimes well by particularly Asian business owners, right? It is not a lovely, good relationship. But this is my thing.
It damn near started. It kind of indirectly led to, for example, to the LA riots, because
Yes.
it's. But all right, good, yes, but
No, so I'm not erasing all that. I'm not blind to all that. I get it. But one, I just see our people so criminalized and demonized because of some whack ones we have. Because yes, we've done some whack things, or yes, we have some whack people. And I don't want to do that to other people. But this is my biggest thing. This is my very biggest thing. And I know it's wrong that maybe people are frustrated because I feel that we're the ones having to be the kindest ones. But at some point, because what I hope Asians are realizing, because I do believe a lot of Asians felt as if they were the special minority, the ones that were closest to white people. At the end of the day, white supremacy is about white supremacy, and they will give you crumbs along the way, but it is about white supremacy and keeping them and them only in power. And so the only way that we could possibly get out of this shit is that all the minorities stop infighting as they set us up to do. We can't win shit if I'm fighting with the Asian people and I'm fighting with the Latinx people and we will never, as a whole, we'll all just be sitting here fighting, killing ourselves as white people are still running the country, regardless of what the numbers do. So at a certain point, we got to get over the shit. We need some counseling or something, because it's the only way.
Okay, so it's the elephant in the room that you can't avoid, but you also don't want it to completely take over the narrative, in the sense that I'll tell you before I get to the other point. I'll tell you the thing that bothers me during the course of all of this is, like, I'll see people like on my timeline, Facebook timeline, Twitter timeline, Instagram timeline, whatever. People that I've never seen in solidarity with us about anything.
Right.
About anything. Never said shit. Now it's like, we need you to stand with us. And it's like, oh, you do now. Oh, so you do understand that shit is fucked up out here, but now you want the reciprocal. But and I don't want people to take what I'm saying the wrong way, because I don't condone any of the shit that's happening now.
Oh, it's terrible.
I don't condone any of the shit that's happening now. I don't care what slight people feel. You can't go around targeting a group of people and just what, like, murdering them for your own personal fantasies, your own misinformation and misideas about who they are or what they represent. You can't go around doing that. And I feel for every single family who has had to wake up today. Like, I saw people actually posting the names of the victims, which you should do, because they need to be out there and more important than the dumbass who decided, I'm just going to go there and shoot them.
Mm-hmm.
On the same token, I do understand how portions of the Black community might feel like, where's all this solidarity when we need it?
Oh, listen. And
where's all the solidarity when we need it?
The thing is that when I tell people, I said, sometimes when I make a stand on something, it doesn't mean that I don't see the other. I feel all those emotions. Like, I feel all that shit. And but what I'm saying is, at a certain point, like, when does it stop? Like, when do we say, okay, like, let's be cool? Like, I hope that the Asian community is having some sort of wake up, right? Because I do feel as if they have felt a privilege that, of course, we haven't felt as minorities, right? And have not been uh maybe some of them have not been as sympathetic to our situation at but at some point, I don't know, we're gonna have to come together at some point. I ain't saying we got to be best friends and shit, but if we all got together and fought against police brutality, if we all got together and fought against, like, force people to treat racism as it should be treated, then maybe we could make it somewhere, because we can't do it on our own, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we all need to be able to say, like, okay, they're killing all of us. They are arresting all of us. They are, like, to stay in power. There's a lot of shit that's going on, and we need to be, I don't know, at some point figure some shit out.
And I feel like it's important to say that, because I know somebody's probably gonna see this portion and just be like, oh my gosh, like, you guys are saying bad things about me. It's like, no, I'm not saying anything negative. I'm just like you said, like, I can feel two things at once. I can see two different perspectives at once. That doesn't mean that I want anything negative to happen to any other racial or ethnic group. Of course not. Especially when I know that it's the same root cause for all of it.
It's the same. It's the same root cause.
Like, I would never want anybody to be subjected to that manner of discrimination. But you also have to call a spade a spade.
No, I believe.
But you also don't. But I also don't want to spend too much time on that portion of it and then pay more attention to the fact that it's like, yo, listen, there's an entire infrastructure that needs to be burned to the ground, because then after these incidents, you have fucking police chiefs who can get on there and talk about, like, yo, let me check this out. Anybody who's, a sympathizer to losers like this kid.
No, I don't think we're gonna know.
Let me understand. Let me be perfectly clear. Mm-hmm. No one gives a fuck about your bad day.
Okay.
No one cares about your emotional problems. No one cares about it. No, that doesn't give you the right. You know who deals with emotional problems? Therapists. Find one.
Yes. And no one's ever cared about our bad days.
No. We don't get the luxury of having a bad day. We don't get the luxury of having
a bad day. Because the thing is, guess what? Even when bad shit is happening to us, right? And we're watching our men get murdered, or our Breonna Taylor, we still got to go to work and smile. And let us not have a conversation or anything. All of a sudden, we have bad attitudes. It's in our daggone performance of reports. Black people cannot have bad days.
Because it's funny you brought up Breonna Taylor again, because listen. Run through the entire situation. In her house, asleep, they tried to trump up some charges against her boyfriend. The ex-boyfriend, or whoever that they were really looking for, was just like, she had nothing to do with nothing, even though they tried to make him sign something. So you want to talk about a bad day? Every facet of this story points to this woman's innocence, and then there were still people like, well, they had a warrant. Who gives a fuck, man?
But they will always find a way to justify us being, justifying us being persecuted or prosecuted. They will always find ways, because I don't even think they see us as human. I really don't think a lot of people even see us as feeling, loving.
You want to know what's crazy about this too? It's like, okay, let's say for a millisecond I want to run with the narrative, which of course I don't believe this at all. But let's say if I wanted to run with the narrative that he had an addiction that he needed to get worked out. So your solution to your addiction is to go to this place and kill people, as opposed to just not going to the place. That's your solution. So even if I wanted to play that game with you, that is the most nonsensical thing I've ever heard.
Well, but I think that the bigger issue for me is that we've heard about it. They have done so much to tell us so much about this guy to justify his killing, and we don't even hear about our victims, right? We don't even hear anything about their personalities, their jobs, the people who love them. They're just dead, right? And they always try to humanize people. So when, when they had all those people going in schools and shooting up schools and things, we hear about how this kid was a loner or didn't have friends. I was sad because his parents got divorced. Like before anything even happens, they're provided with an excuse of doing horrific things. And Breonna Taylor, who was sleeping
in her own house,
in her own right, it's like they still just really don't get it. And so I'm just, I'm becoming shit. I guess I've been tired for a long time, but it's just like I need for there to be some freaking accountability and some ownership. And I need for there not to be, I need for someone to say, look, fool, you cannot be racist because your ass got diabetes. You got the sugars, right?
No, but I'll say that it's actually good that we're doing these videos again, because like anybody who follows my blog knows that I haven't really been writing a ton anymore. And like I've been here before. I've been here before in the sense that I stopped writing for a few years around the time of Trayvon, because I found myself getting into stupid arguments with people leaving comments. And I'm seeing the cycle come back around with the amount of people I see defending Kyle Rittenhouse on my page. And it's like, because they'll talk about
Kyle Rittenhouse drove across state lines.
I'm blanking on the black guy's name who's now paralyzed from the waist down, who got shot in the back
oh
in front of his kids.
Someone probably said it on Facebook. My brain just
but basically all of the Kyle Rittenhouse sympathizers are like, I didn't know a guy like him mattered so much to you. I was just like, you do realize, first off, nobody deserves to get shot in front of their kids in the back and be paralyzed. That's number one. And number two, that's not who Kyle Rittenhouse shot, right?
Right.
You do know that he shot 3 people protesting. He didn't shoot that guy.
Right.
He shot like so your vitriol for this guy still doesn't even justify what Kyle did. How do you guys combine the two? And it's just like, well, the fact that they were going around to like these rallies, or like especially around the time of like the Capitol rioters, like there's people out here like wearing Kyle Rittenhouse as a hero shirts and other type of shit. It's just like, and it's times like this
with what's his name? I blocked his name. Trayvon Martin's murderer. Trayvon Martin's murderer. That's still out free.
Zimmerman.
George Zimmerman. Do you remember, like, they got a fund for him going over $1 million? Like that man is like celebrated and lauded. Like, that's what I mean. Like, not only are people killing us, they're being celebrated for killing us.
Like, they're being called heroes. They're being called heroes,
right,
for murdering people. And it's just, but see, that's the thing where it's like the pendulum always shifts with me. Like on one hand, it's just like, man, we got to keep bringing attention to certain things. And then other times I'm just like, I just want to wash my hands of all this shit and then just, pay attention to my family and then go about my business. Because it's like, you can't reason with people like that. You can't. Like those people are fucking lost. They're lost. There's no coming around. There's not going to be one day where the person who thinks
they're not lost. They're actually very here. And this is what I try to explain to people. The country was founded on racism. Day one, when people say this is not America. No, the Declaration of Independence, we were seen as property from day one. It was never designed to accept. When they said we the people, they meant them. They didn't mean us and immigrants and all that. They meant them, right? And they have essentially run the country. Like, if we look at every stat from, it looks like from wealth to jobs to healthcare to politics, they have run this country, right? And so now, because of the numbers, because they will be minorities by 2040, they are scared to death. Because do you know what power white supremacy is? This means a high school dropout, a white high school dropout who uses meth and lives halfway on the side of the street will be seen more favorably than me or you walking into a store. I might be followed before he was followed. White supremacy gives them the power of always having the benefit of the doubt, whether they're applying for a loan, whether they're walking into a store. They
Well, it's
always,
not even the benefit of the
whether it
doubt.
comes to a police officer. So no, they know exactly what the fuck they're doing. They stormed the Capitol. They're doing whatever they can to maintain this country. That's why Trump is so important to them, because Trump is trying to save white supremacy. Trump ain't trying to save nothing else but white supremacy.
I was about to say, it's not even the benefit of the doubt. They will actually give you an explanation to justify what you did. It's not even a benefit of the doubt saying like, oh, maybe it's just, no, that they'll provide you with an explanation for why you did the things you did. I.e., yeah, it's, he shot a bunch of Asian people, but sex addiction. That's why.
That's what it
was. sex addiction. That's why he did it. What? No.
And it's just so disgusting. So that's what I'm saying. I'm hoping everybody is having so, because you know what white supremacy does? It makes all the minorities fight to be the best, right? We're paying more attention to the other minorities instead of all paying attention to the one that is controlling us and demoralizing us and keeping us down. And so that's all I'm saying about all this.
That's like that meme.
We have a much bigger fight right now. We have a much bigger fight.
That's like that meme that's going around where it's like stop Asian hate, and then it's crossed out, and it's like, no, stop
white terrorism. Yeah,
because that's but here's the
white
thing.
Terrorism. That is what it is.
The crazy thing too is that, but I mean, of course, Trump did a fantastic job of making his people not believe the same law enforcement agencies they claim to love. Because the FBI been said white terrorism is like the biggest threat in America. They've been said that. They said that a long time ago, and they've been harping on that for a while now. But leave it to everybody else. What are you even talking about? I'm just like, no. The odds of all the people you're scared of, guarantee that somebody that looks like you is more than likely going to be the next person to shoot up a bunch of people, harm a bunch of people. It ain't the black people. It ain't the black people.
It's personal. When we kill you, it's personal. We know you.
I'm saying. It's just like, yo, like I said this like a long time ago. I was like, yo, like people love to talk about like things like gang violence, which gang violence isn't good, people. All right, don't get that misconstrued. But there's a semblance of logic to that. That gang hate that gang, and they are aiming at each other. It's fucked up, but that's what's happening. These people is going around the motherfucking country just shooting people that ain't got shit to do with shit. Just because. They
hate people. Let me just shoot people. Right. Yeah. And you can't avoid it because you might just be,
we don't know what target. We don't know what target somebody gonna wake up tomorrow and say that, because I forgot, who was that guy who was mad? He wrote which everybody has a manifesto when some shit goes wrong. And like I forgot this dude who was just shooting a bunch of women just because like he wasn't getting no ass, and the girls that he liked were fucking with black guys. So he just decided he's just gonna shoot a bunch of women. I forgot what that dude's name was, but it's just like that's your reason. Like what?
Okay, so last topic I want to talk about, I want to ask you about this vaccine. Because I know that's another topic in the Black community. I have gotten my first shot. I get my second shot on Tuesday. I did not hesitate. I was happy to have it. And let me tell you what I told people. Because everyone's like, you can't trust white people. They're trying to kill black people. So black people on the very small, we don't have, our percentage numbers are down, right? Because white people are getting it. In Oakland, 50% of the shots that have been given out to white people who have been coming from other areas to get the shot. They are fighting for the shot. They had a couple go to a Native American reservation. They had shots just for them, and a white couple went to the reservation. They are lying, stealing, playing dress up to get the white people to get these shots. I was like, so I don't think it's no Tuskegee experiment stuff here, people. I believe that because they wouldn't be fighting so hard to get it.
No, I'll say this because my wife is actually on the docket to get hers because she works for a legal nonprofit, and she's for immigration, so she's got to be in these immigration courts and what have you. So like she's on the docket to get hers. At this point I know a bunch of other people who have gotten it already, so I'm not skeptical in the sense that I think it's some funny business going on in regards to that. Which, not saying that because I'm naive. I am well aware of American history and I know how it's gone down before.
Well,
But
we know how it's going down.
I don't think that this is it. But I will tell you this. This is going to sound crazy. I'm a big boxing fan. So I was a big, even though he was before my time, just like doing my history, I was a big Marvelous Marvin Hagler fan. Mm-hmm. And then he died. And then Thomas the Hitman Hearns was like, he was in the ICU from the vaccine. I was like, damn it, man. Please don't tell me that's what happened. Please don't tell me that Marvin Hagler died from the damn vaccine, man. Like,
just so you know, they've been saying that about a lot.
Don't quote me. I don't know if that's true. I'm just saying what Thomas the Hitman Hearns said. He could be wrong. He could be wrong. But I do know that, because I know my mom got hers as well too. I do know that, you know, the vaccines are having, you know, side effects to certain people. Like, everybody is, you know, adjusting to it differently. So you do have to watch how that goes. So I'm still, you know, probably going to find a way to get it. I'm just gonna, you know, since my wife is on the docket, I'm, you know, and I can see something close up because I'm watching my mom too. So I'm gonna have two people close up. I'm watching y'all to see how this works out.
So if they grow a tail or something, you ain't gonna do it. You just gonna
that's what I'm saying. It says like if there's a extra eyebrow that grows up here, then it's like, you know what? Let me fall.
That's hilarious. Well, anything else? Have we covered all of our topics for the week?
I think. One more.
Yes.
If I wanted to fight the police chief, I also want to fight Ron Johnson. Ron Johnson. For people who don't know, Ron Johnson decided to say he wasn't scared of the Capitol rioters because he knew that they loved America and respected law enforcement. But if it was BLM, then he'd be scared.
Yes, I heard that.
Here's the thing, right? Because, all right, let's just start with two parts of that statement. I'm not even going to get to the BLM part first. I'm going to get there next. The respect this country and respect law enforcement. Cops died. Like about 140 officers were injured during this riot.
They spread their feces and urinated. Spread their feet. I mean, literally, which just shows how trifling they were. That's why we got COVID and shit. Spread their feces all over the place. And they talk about they respect.
They beat a cop with a flag. They beat another cop with a fire extinguisher. Those are the people you respect.
Those are the people
not even getting to the BLM portion of it.
Well, BLM.
Your statement just spits in the face of blatant facts. Like, they killed a cop. You can't say a group of people respect law enforcement when they killed a cop
and desecrated one of our most honored buildings.
That is mind-boggling to me. How you can yo. I want somebody right now, because they love throwing this in the face. I want you to find me somebody who, in the name of BLM, murdered somebody. Find it for me. And I know, and I had this argument before with somebody, especially on my blog, because they pointed out there was there's that black guy in Dallas who was using bombs and killed 5 people. I forgot how many years ago that was.
It was a while ago. It's when cops were killing us. Yeah.
That guy specifically said BLM doesn't go far enough, which is why he went and did that. So that's not even in the name of BLM. So I want somebody to find me who got murdered on behalf of BLM.
No, but
because they murdered. If one BLM person beat a cop to death with a fire extinguisher, I guarantee they would have raided all of our neighborhoods by now.
Oh yeah, all of us.
They literally murdered a cop, but yet he feels comfortable enough to say they're good people, but them over there, I'd be scared.
That is white supremacy.
And then the thing that even irks me on top of that is when people call out anybody for the blatant thing they said, then it turns into the media is spinning this. No, bro, we heard you.
We heard you just say it was
Like,
light. What are you talking about?
we heard you. I heard the words that came out of your mouth. That is not a spin. That is the word. That is the word. Those are the words that escaped your face.
And see, I could respect people more if they were like, look, I'm a racist. I don't really like I like white.
But it's because you know what it is. It's like, and this is something that I feel like, an issue that Trump exacerbated is that people used to be a little bit more covert with
right.
their with their racism, in the sense that
they were racially polite.
They would tap dance around what they would say, like, in which, I mean, it's all shitty, but it's just like they could at least put up enough of a veneer to be like, that's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. These people are blatantly saying things, and then like, that's not what I said. We heard you.
Like, things are recorded now, bruh. Not bruh.
We literally heard, and the thing about it is, he knew what he was doing, because he started his statement with, "I might get in trouble for this," because you knew exactly what you were about to say.
Right.
So that's too. So
and the fact
listen,
that has not made the news cycle a lot trips me out. Like, I heard about it first on, I follow like a BLM thread. That's where I heard it. It wasn't like on some major news station, which shows again how the things they do are covered up. Like, we don't even hear about it. Let a black guy rob a 7-Eleven, it's and get $8.33. That's gonna be on the news. But you have people doing shit like this, you could barely find it.
So that's 2 versus 3. It's Randy and I versus Sharon Osbourne, the police chief, and Ron Johnson. We can take it. We can take it.
I no doubt. I no doubt.
We can take it.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. It was good. And let me just say this: instead of interviewing Sharon Osbourne, why don't they interview Cheryl Underwood? That's another thing. Why is she being made? Okay.
I said this is the last thing. No, this is the last.
I'm gonna say that.
I said this is the last thing, but this is the last thing, because you brought up the Sharon Osbourne thing. We talked briefly about Kevin Frazier earlier. This isn't directed necessarily at Kevin Frazier. It's directed at all the people who think like Kevin Frazier. You know what concept is overrated? Let's have a conversation.
Okay, that's my company's motto, but I get what you're saying.
What conversation do we honestly need to have at this point that you guys don't get? And at this point, if you don't get it, it's because you are being willfully ignorant. Willfully ignorant. There's no other way to explain, because here's the thing. Most of the time when people say, let's have a conversation, that's normally where the conversation ends. And nothing is ever actually discussed that leads to nobody changes their minds after these conversations.
Have a conversation to save her reputation. It's not about having a conversation to actually learn something. That woman's 70 years old. She knows all this, right? She knows all this. But can I just say something? If this summer did nothing else, what I'm very happy about is Black people are speaking up. Right. So when Cheryl, when that happened with Cheryl, I love how Holly Robinson Peete came up like, yeah, she was racist with me. I love how people came out and said, no, you have a history of being racist. So let's not even bullshit. Reason why Pierce is your boy is because y'all both racist. That's what y'all have in common. Right. Y'all probably sit around, drink your tea and talk about Black people, how you don't like us. So let's just call a thing a thing. So I love how Black people are, before we would stay quiet and leave each other hanging out to dry. I love that we're bold enough now to say, I got this person's back, and that person did the same thing to me. I've been seeing that, quite a bit lately. We're taking stands.
So 2 versus 3, take them all.
2 versus 3. All right. Have a good Friday.
All right.
Let's do next Friday, no matter what. We've been tripping.
Yes. We're back.
Y'all have a nice Friday. Peace and hair grease. We appreciate our 3 fans so much.
All 3 of y'all. Yeah. All right.